The morning sun shined through the glass walls of the Harrington Company Tower, making every shiny surface look like gold. And right in the middle of this bright, perfect world walked a small 12-year-old girl named Marina Hale, holding a brown envelope close to her chest like it was the last piece of truth she had left in the world. Her backpack straps were worn and torn. Her shoes were covered with white dust from walking many long miles, and her breathing shook with both fear and bravery. As she pushed open the doors, dozens of employees in suits looked at her with confused faces. But Marina kept walking, her eyes looking straight ahead. She had come to give back something that didn't belong to her, something she found on a park bench 3 days ago, something that could either mean nothing or could change everything. But what she wasn't ready for was the laughter that met her when she finally walked into the office of one of the city's richest, most powerful men. If you believe kindness still matters and that everyone deserves a second chance, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps us share real stories of hope. Marina had never been inside a place like this. The floor smelled a little bit like lemon cleaner. The air buzzed with printers and keyboards, and everyone here looked important, busy, and impossible to talk to. The receptionist stared at her for a long moment before pointing the way to a large office at the end of the hall. That was where she found Grant Harrington, the billionaire investor whose face showed up on magazine covers every other month, sitting behind a shiny desk with a smile that looked fake rather than real. His suit was perfect. His hair looked perfect. His expression was dismissive. Marina swallowed her fear and stepped forward, holding out the envelope with both hands. It wasn't heavy, but it felt like it weighed her entire world. Inside it was a stack of papers, documents filled with plans, money details, and personal notes she didn't understand. She only knew one thing. The man whose name was printed on them deserves to have them back. But Grant Harrington didn't even look at the envelope first. He looked at her, then at his assistant, then leaned back and burst into laughter loud enough to turn heads through the glass wall. His assistant laughed with him, sharing looks that made Marina feel smaller than she already was. Grant thought she was a joke, a distraction, maybe even someone trying to waste his time. Marina's heart hurt badly, but she stayed strong. She explained where she found the envelope on an old wooden bench near the Riverside Gardens, how she kept it safe, and how she used her limited school computer time to find the company address. But every word she said only seemed to make him laugh more. Grant waved his hand like he was shooing away a fly, as if the whole thing was nothing more than a child's silly game. And in that moment, Marina wished she had never walked into this cold, shiny building at all. What Grant didn't know was that Marina's life hadn't been easy. She lived with her grandmother in a tiny apartment where the electricity sometimes went on and off, and meals were more hope than habit. She used the same backpack for 4 years. She studied by a broken window that let in winter air, but she still believed in honesty. She believed lost things should be returned even when the world didn't seem to care. The walk to the tower had taken her over an hour, her feet hurting by the time she arrived. But she had come anyway because something inside her, something her grandmother always called the voice of good, told her it mattered. As Grant continued laughing, Marina lowered her head, suddenly feeling unsure. Maybe she had gotten everything wrong. Maybe the envelope wasn't important. Maybe returning it didn't matter. Maybe the world really didn't care about small acts of kindness. But then the office door opened and a weak older man walked inside, leaning heavily on a wooden cane. His name was Arthur Linwood, a retired architect who volunteered in city history groups. His hair was silver and his glasses sat low on his nose, but his eyes, sharp, smart, and tired, immediately fell on the envelope in Marina's hands. Something in his face changed, a mix of knowing, panic, relief. Arthur slowly walked toward her, his cane tapping steadily against the floor. He asked her one simple question, and Marina explained everything. The bench, the envelope, the search for the address, the walk here. As she spoke, Arthur's hands shook. That envelope wasn't just a random set of papers. It held his original hand-drawn plans for a historical rebuilding project. Documents he had worked on for months and was afraid he had lost forever when his briefcase accidentally opened on the bench. Grant's smile disappeared instantly. Arthur turned toward him, not angrily but with deep disappointment. He explained that Marina had returned something priceless, something that showed years of hard work and a history project that meant everything to him. The billionaire who had laughed moments ago now looked frozen in place, embarrassed, unable to look into Arthur's eyes. For the first time, Marina saw a tiny bit of real feeling behind Grant's polished outside, a crack in the perfect mask he wore. Arthur thanked Marina gently, but with so much honest feeling that it made her chest feel tight. He asked about her life, her grandmother, her school. And as Marina answered quietly, Grant finally understood just how strong, how brave this young girl really was. Arthur, touched by Marina's honesty and bravery, insisted on rewarding her, not with money, but with opportunity. He offered to support her education, to teach her about architecture if she ever wanted to learn it, and to stay connected with her grandmother. Grant, feeling the sharp pain of his earlier rudeness, apologized truly, not just to Marina but to Arthur as well, and something changed in the room that Marina couldn't quite explain. It was as if the air became softer, warmer, and more human again. Grant walked her out of the office himself, a move that shocked every employee watching. Marina stepped back into the bright sunlight with a strange feeling, lifting her heart. Something like pride, something like hope. She didn't know what the future held, but she knew one thing. She had done the right thing, and sometimes that was enough to change more than one life. If this story touched your heart, even a little, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps us reach more people with stories that remind us humanity still exists. Before you go, comment below. Kindness lives on. And with that, Marina walked home under the warm daylight, not knowing that her single act of honesty had started a chain of kindness that would spread far beyond anything she could imagine.